Hello everyone, and welcome to another Vintage Cube Draft. I've not been playing too much this season, I've just been busy with a couple other things, but it's good to get in the occasional draft here and there. And we have a very good pack to start. Flooded Strand is excellent. You know I love a good blue fetch, and especially a blue-white fetch. There's also Gitaxian Probe, Noble Hierarch, and Demonic Tutor, but we will be taking the Mana Drain here. Mana Drain is excellent. If this was Counterspell, it would be a pretty close decision between Mana Drain, Counterspell, Demonic Tutor, and Flooded Strand. But as is, I think it's a pretty easy Mana Drain. This card is excellent. Arid Mesa is also worth mentioning, but blue fetches are better than non-blue fetches, especially early on. So, yeah, Flooded Strand would be my second pick here, but we will take the Mana Drain and be very happy about it. And now we get a Dack Fayden. That's awesome. A lot of good cards here. Frantic Search is decent. I really like Urza. This card is pretty strong, especially if you have ways to make a bunch of colorless mana, which Mana Drain does. Skyclave Apparition and Path to Exile are both pretty good white cards. But yeah, Dack Fayden is excellent. There's tons of artifacts in this format. None in this pack, actually, although I guess Urza is sort of an artifact. But the -2 ability of this card is just game-ending in some circumstances. You can steal Blightsteel Colossus, Wormcoil Engine, stuff like that. And then also you can just go, like, they go turn 2 Signet, you play turn 3 Dack Fayden and steal your Signet. And that's a 3-for-1, then they're down a mana, you're up a mana, and you have a Planeswalker. The +1 is good for adding consistency to your deck, and then it also gives you some value with Delve cards that just want you to fill your graveyard, great in combo decks. Just a really good card all around. Okay. Couple of lands here that we're not too interested in. Hymn to Tourach is good, but I think we just want to take the Consecrated Sphinx here. This card is excellent. It's especially good with Mana Drain. If you're on the draw and they go turn 3, 3-drop, whatever, add a line, and you go Mana Drain, then you get 3 mana, so you untap, play your third land, and just slam Consecrated Sphinx on turn 3. That's really, really good. I like Mana Drain with 6 drops in general for that reason. Unholy Heat would be my pick if there was no Consecrated Sphinx here. This is a pretty good removal spell. It's a little bit harder to get Delirium in Limited than it is in Constructed, of course, but it's still not impossible, and we have Dack Fayden to fill our graveyard, so that's some synergy. Dragon's Rage Chandler is also decent. This card has actually impressed me a lot in this format. It gives you a lot of card selection. It pressures Planeswalkers well when it's Delirious. It's cheap. Just a solid card all around. There's a good chance this will come around, but we'll take the Consecrated Sphinx for now. Okay. Bit of a decision point here. Wheel of Fortune and Thousand Year Storm are good in Storm. So we could take the wheel, try and wheel the Thousand Year Storm and go in that direction. Wheel of Fortune is pretty sweet with Consecrated Sphinx. You just get to draw a ton. You can also Dack Fayden. Oh wait, I guess this is a combo we have, but already without these 2 cards. But if you have Consecrated Sphinx and Dack Fayden, you can Dack them. They draw 2 and discard 2, so they get a little selection, but you get to just be +4 cards then. So that's pretty sweet. I don't think we're supposed to take one of these cards. If we had a Narset, maybe. But Brazen Borrower is a very good interactive spell, and in general, I think interactive decks with counterspells, like ways to interact with the board and a couple sticky threats, tend to be better than Storm decks. If this was like 6th pick and we were seeing these going really late, that would be one thing. But in this situation, I think Brazen Borrower is the right pickup. Ooh, Teferi. Phantasmal Image is a decent value card. This is not really a card we're interested in. Destroying all lands, we want to have a bunch of lands. But Fable of the Mirror Breaker is interesting. It's a solid card, just decent value, but I think we take the Teferi here. It's a little bit sad that we already passed Flooded Strand, and now we're passing Plateau. But I think this is still the right pick. Now we get Prismatic Vista. Excellent. There's the Yawgmoth's Will, but I think Jeskai control is, like, it looks open and very good here. A lot of green and white in this pack, actually, but yeah, let's take the Prismatic Vista. If there's no Vista, I probably would speculate on the Yawgmoth's Will. Thraben Inspector could also be reasonable. But yeah, Vista is a very nice pickup. And now we get Wooded Foothills. Ooh, actually, a couple interesting ones. That's a late Elvish Mystic, but I'm not going to take that here. Brainstorm is good with a Prismatic Vista and just a good card all around. Oust is a good cheap removal spell, and then there's Wooded Foothills, which doesn't help us yet, but if we get some red fetchable land, it will help us. Brainstorm is very good when it's good. I think it's worth it to take the Wooded Foothills, though. Having a good mana base is so important. And right now it doesn't help us, but it's very likely to. Yeah, let's take this card. Ooh, late Council's Judgment. That's pretty excellent. Manamorphose could help with the fixing, but you don't really want to play Manamorphose in your splash colors. So we'll see. It looks like, well, I don't know. Red and white both look somewhat open. So this could be pure Jeskai, or it could be blue-white splashing Dak, or blue-red splashing Teferi. But I think Council Judgment is a pretty good pickup here. Now we can take Wall of Omens. Okay, so we're moving towards blue-white. Grim Lavamancer is reasonable, but given that we're already heavier white, I think this is going to be better for us. Now we get Archangel Avacyn. Pretty solid pickup. There's also Avalanche Riders. That's actually interesting. And no, we're pretty heavy white. Let's take the Archangel Avacyn. Wear Tear, excellent pickup. Manatide, also excellent pickup. Okay, so solidly blue-white. Hopefully we can get the red splash for Dak. So let's see. This makes a 2/2 that can make mana. It loots, and then it comes back as a creature. The problem is making enough, like this. The flip side of this is not very good for us. It flips as a 2/2. It can make... Oh, whoops. Well, all right. Doesn't really matter. We weren't going to play that either way, I think. Okay, solid pack 1. We have a good blue-white core. Blue, we didn't get much blue after the first few picks, but that's to be expected. Number 1 priority, I mean, I would love just broken cards, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, stuff like that. Also, just more fixing. Blue-red fetchable land would be probably the best thing we could get. Another fetch land would be good, too. Okay, a couple options here. There's a pretty bad piece of fixing in Deserted Beach. Elspeth and Elspeth Conqueror's Death are both good. There's Karn and there's Firebolt. I don't think we want to take the Firebolt since red is our splash color. I do like both of these a lot, but one of them will probably come around because white is pretty open and they fill similar roles. We could take one and try and wheel the other, but I think the best bet is just to take Deserted Beach and wheel one of these 2 white mid-range cards. I would rather Elspeth. Elspeth would be very good for this deck. In fact, maybe we're supposed to take it. But I think I would rather have... Like, if we take the Elspeth and both of these 2 cards get taken, we're not wheeling much. And I think I would rather have Deserted Beach plus Elspeth Conqueror's Death than just Elspeth. Yeah, I think we do take this here. If this was a Hallowed Fountain, it would be an easy pick. But I think it still is worth it, even though this isn't the best fixing. I just really, really want to have the consistency, and then we'll wheel one of the 2 Elspeth cards. Okay, now we get Bribery. That's a great pickup. Coalition Relic and Karn are both good as well, but Bribery is just broken. This card can completely win the game on its own, so we will very happily take that. Okay. Fetch land doesn't help us, unfortunately. Chandra would be good if we could cast it. Same with Toxic Deluge, but I think we just want to take the Gideon here. Gideon is an excellent card, and yeah, we'll do that. Leovold, not really going to be happening here in our base white deck. Okay, there's a Taiga. That doesn't help us, though. We can fetch it with Wooded Foothills, but that's not really valuable. Echo of Yawns is not really where we want to be. Mother of Runes is great, but this isn't really a Mother of Runes deck. Let's just take the Abrade, then. If the mana fixing really doesn't get there, we might not be able to play it, but it would be great if we could. And we have no cheap interaction for creatures. Path to Exile was taken. We didn't take the Oust. I would love to get a Swords to Plowshares or some more red removal, but yeah, Braid is a pretty good pickup. We have great interaction for artifacts now. Dak Faden can steal, Teferi can bounce, Braid can destroy, and Wear Tear can destroy. Well, that's a pretty late counterspell. Love seeing that. We're light on counter magic, so that's great. I would really like to play Wrath of God as well, and I really hope this comes around, but I'm not going to pass a counterspell here. Showdown of the Skulls is also somewhat interesting, as is Expansion Explosion, but yeah, let's say counterspell pretty easily here. You need counter magic to make these sorts of decks work. That's a late Birds of Paradise. I wish we could play that. Ginger Taxis is pretty underwhelming. It's good against some decks, but it's really expensive. It's sorcery speed. I think... Oh, wait. Actually, Inspiring Vantage. Yeah, definitely Inspiring Vantage. Basalt Monolith is decent with Consecrated Sphinx, and if we wheel the Elspeth, it would be good there too. But yeah, let's definitely take the fixing. There's an Omnath and a Banishing Light. So do we think we're going to be able to make Omnath work? Probably not. We do have one Wooded Foothills and Prismatic Vista. And it is really good if you can cast him. But I think we would need to have at least six pieces of fixing right now to cast this. And Vanishing Light's good. If it was Omnath versus something like really borderline, like Cultivate or Thassa's Oracle, then I would take the Omnath. But Vanishing Light is a genuinely great card for us. Okay, nice. We get a Board Sweeper. Life from the Loam is sweet, but not for this deck. This looks like a black card, but we're just never going to cast it on the front half, just always overloading it for 4 mana. So it's just a 4 mana Board Sweeper. Pretty good. At first, I thought this card was strictly better than something like Wrath of God, but it's actually not. There's some situations where it's worse, like it can be taken by Inquisition of Kozilek, it hurts you against Eidolon of the Great Revel, stuff like that. Okay, as expected, we wheel the Elspeth Conquers Death. Would have liked to have gotten the Elspeth, but this is good, especially since we didn't get much other fixing this pack. The Deserted Beach is going to go a long way, so we will take this. We have very good interaction here, at least interaction with the board. We have 3 ways to exile problematic permanents. Brazen Borrower can bounce them, also have counter magic. In terms of fixing, right now, this doesn't help us at all, which is pretty bad. We really would like to get something that turns this on in the next pack. So we have 1, 2 blue sources, 1, 2, 3 white sources, and 3 red sources. Okay. Nothing here is great for us. I don't think like Shriekmaw would be the best if we could play it, but we don't have the mana for that. Destructive Force is interesting, but we don't have much artifact mana. That's really what you want to make this card good. I think we should take Parallax Wave. I'm not going to main deck it, but it's good against some decks. It's good against decks that are making a lot of tokens, and it can just stall against some creature decks. Okay, Lion Sash, pretty good sideboard card. Yeah, we'll definitely take this. Really late Mother of Runes, okay. Wrath of God, sweet. Showdown of the Skulls is decent, but I think taking a second Wrath is worth it. We get the Djinn on the wheel, and last pick Polukranos, okay. Looking pretty good. I would like a few cantrips and more 1-mana spells, and then fixing. That's the main thing we're looking for. I feel pretty good about the middle of the curve, pretty good about most of the interaction. Okay, not the best pack, but not bad because we get a Sacred Foundry. That makes Wooded Foothills get white. Without this, it would actually be quite a weak pack. There's Blade Splicer. We could take a half on Color Signet. But yeah, let's take the Sacred Foundry. I'm pretty happy with that. That's not a bad start. Alright, more good fixing. You love to see that. We'll take the Steam Vents for sure. Now the Wooded Foothills is a tri-land. There's also Sunbaked Canyon and Seachrome Coast, so we're hoping one of those comes around. Sunbaked Canyon is more likely to come around. And then there's Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which is a great value card that I would definitely play if we could, but I'm not going to pass a Steam Vents for it, for sure. Maybe if it was a Ponder, it would be close, but like if it was a really good 1-mana spell, but we have some 2s. I'd rather just take the fixing. Now we get the Preordain. That is excellent. Thieving Skydiver is good as well, but we already have Dack Fayden, and it's just, I mean, we have so many ways to deal with artifacts. Let's take the Preordain. Balance is not good at all in this deck. We have no artifacts. It is good with Planeswalkers, but you really want to have at least 2 or 3 Signets to make this work. So it looks like we're not going to be getting any power, but we have a really good deck here. Only 2 counterspells is a bit sketchy. I would like to get at least 1 more. I don't think we've passed any. We just haven't opened very many. And blue is only a little bit open. Wow. Ponder. Okay. Windswept Heath gets Sacred Foundry. There's also Chrome Mox, which would be pretty good, and Solitude. But I think we just take the Ponder here. Consistency is so valuable. I guess, if this could get blue, I would take it. Yeah, Ponder is basically mana fixing too. This card is excellent. Now I get Gideon Jura, pretty solid pickup. There's also Condemn, though, and Incinerate, but I think I like Condemn better than Incinerate. Library of Alexandria is good, too, but this isn't really the best library deck. We're not playing to the board. We're pretty interactive. We do have 2 board sweepers. I think we can afford to take the Gideon here. Or do we just take the library? Do we have the fixing for that? Actually, there's 3 good white cards in this pack. One of them's going to come around. Yeah, let's take library and wheel one of the white cards. Now it's Elspeth versus Sundown Pass. Elspeth is decent, but I think we take the pass here. Yeah, I just really, really want to have good mana. Now we can take, let's see, Restoration Angel doesn't really do much for us here. It is really not good with anything other than Wall of Omens. Mystical Tutor isn't great either. It can find a board sweeper and it can find Bribery. But we don't have like, Ancestral Recall or anything like that. I think we just take Disenchant. Faithless Looting is also good. But red is our splash color, although we have good red fixing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we play one mountain, we have 7 red sources. Actually, yeah, I think we take this. Disenchant would be good too, but we already have Wear Tear. We have a Braid. Yeah, we'll just really get consistent here. Now we could take Kitchen Finks for the board to combat aggro. This was our first pack, and it's still quite bad. I guess we take Brawl. We're not a Koth deck. Brawl is a good blocker against aggro. Seagram Coast and Sunbait Canyon came around. Excellent. We're base blue-white, but I like the Sunbait Canyon can sacrifice to draw a card. It's always untapped, so yeah, I think we take this. There's Razorverge Thicket, Kolaghan's Command. We're not going to be splashing black in pretty much any world. I guess we could take Fire Blast to break up a twin combo, potentially. I think it's corner case pick, but I think that is the right pick. Nice. Solitude is a really good late pickup. This is probably a 17 lander. We could play 18 lands, but we have no man lands. Actually, that hurts a lot, not having any man lands. Wow, everything came around on the wheel. Gideon or Condemn. I think I like Gideon slightly more. With 2 board sweepers, I like our situation against creature decks. Containment Priest is a good sideboard card. And last pick, Escape to the Wilds. Okay, so this deck looks sweet. We have it built already. We throw in 8 basic lands. We have 2 board sweepers to deal with creatures. We have 2 counter spells. 3 cantrips, which is excellent. Some flexible removal spells. In terms of win conditions, we have 2 Gideons. Archangel Avacyn's only okay. In fact, we could maybe make this exchange. Archangel Avacyn versus Kitchen Finks. No, I think Archangel Avacyn's a bit better. And then we're going to want to have mostly islands because we have more fixing of the other colors. How does this look? So we're slightly heavier on the white cards. We have 9 blue, 12 white, 3 red. Oh, and then this as well. But the blue cards are better. So I'd like to have the most blue sources, or probably at least as many blue as white. So for blue, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not great, but it's okay. For white, we have, this does not get, no, this does get white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Also okay. And then for red, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's way more than we need. If we cut a mountain, that takes out 2 red sources, though, because we have Prismatic Vista. I think that's still worth it, though. I'll cut 1 mountain for 1 island. Yep, we'll run like this. I think this deck is excellent. I'll see you in round 1. Alright, we have our opponent for round 1 with our sweet Jeskai control deck. We don't have broken cards, but we have great interaction, a lot of consistency, and a couple top-end pieces, so that seems like a recipe for success. We are on the draw, though. That is unfortunate. Playing against Tis But a Scratch. Our deck is a bit light on interaction for creatures. That's one problem. We have 2 board sweepers, but not much spot removal, but still seems alright. Okay, now this is interesting. This is definitely a keep. It's a good hand. We have mana drain. We have good mana fixing. But we need to decide if we want to go into the library plan or not. I think we do. Yeah, against nothing on turn 1, I'll play library on 1. We can use Brazen Borrower to bounce their 2-drop here. The worst case scenario would definitely be Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. But if they just play Adonto Vanguard or something, we can bounce it. Ooh, nice. Okay. Playing against Esper is what this hand wants to be doing. Selesnya Signet. Okay, so we're going to draw a card and then bounce this. And then next turn we can steal that with Dak. Good draw. So Island, Petty Theft. And we'll pass. Mox Sapphire. That's not fair. Do we steal the Mox Sapphire or the Signet? Oh, that's annoying. We could Solitude that so that our Dak Faden survives. We'll see what we draw. Mana Tithe. I kind of wanted to Solitude pitch Mana Tithe here. That would take us off of the library plan for good. We could go, so we have a few options. We could go land, Dak, steal the Mox. Then we're down to 6 cards. Next turn we can library again. Alternatively, we could pitch the Solitude to keep our Dak around and try and steal both of their artifacts. That would put them back down to 3 mana, which is somewhat appealing. But then we don't have Solitude anymore. We're off of the library plan. They might be able to outgrind us. Yeah, I think I'm just going to let them kill the Dak here. I don't love it, but I think that is the right play. We want to make sure to get a blue-red land here so we can library and still use mana drain next turn. So let's steal this. Pass turn. This doesn't mean we can't play Gideon next turn or Solitude, but I think I'd rather hold up mana drain anyways. So they kill our Dak. Again, we could stop this, but I think it's better to just let the Dak die. He already did his job. That was a 2-for-1. And then they have 4 mana. Flicker Wisp. That's pretty annoying. They get to steal their Mox back. It's not the end of the world, but it is pretty bad. So let's draw a card. Bribery is a good one. So we pass, hold up mana drain, and then next turn we can sort of go off. They hit us for 4. If they just hit us for 4, they hit us for 3, so they're leaving up their Elvish Mystic. That's interesting. We might be able to get Mana Tithe value, but we'd probably rather just play the Mana Drain. We'll see what they play. Best case scenario is they play some sort of, like a 5-drop, or sorry, a 6-drop. And then, they just pass. Okay, well, that's great for us. If we're using library every turn, we're going to win this game. So, let's just play land go. Playing draw go against library is not the move. I'm just going to take this. We could play Solitude, but there's no need to. We can afford to take a hit here. If they do nothing again, we'll just draw a card, and then next turn we can play Gideon with mana backup. Okay. Sure, not going to counter this. Okay, we need to hit a land here, ideally. Elspeth Conquers Death. Okay. Let's just sweep the board. Yeah, I'll play this. Oh, I forgot we had Brazen Borrower. We could have played Brazen Borrower last turn, but that's fine. So we're going to discard the Mana Tithe. I don't really see that being useful. And then we should be able to hit another land off of this library. We get 2 looks. Let's see, there's 6 lands gone, so we have 11 lands out of 23, almost exactly half. Mirari's Wake. Okay, we can Elspeth Conquers Death that. Let's draw a card. Nice. Okay, I think I'd rather get Gideon down and hold up Mana Drain than Elspeth Conquers Death this turn. So we can go that. Gideon. Now they have 3 cards and a ton of mana. So if they have 2 5-drops, we could be in bad shape. But with this hand, I feel pretty good about our spot. We don't need to tap out ever again. We can just win with this Gideon while holding up our 2 counterspells. I guess Library of Alexandria is a good card. Who knew? So they're playing some sort of green-white deck. Probably playing Golos with this Underground Sea. Green-white's got to be our best matchup. Interesting. Tireless Tracker. This draws them a card. This is close. I think it is worth it to counter, though. If we didn't have an Elspeth Conquers Death, that would be one thing, but I don't want them to draw cards here. Yeah, I think I'm going to Mana Drain here. We do have answers to it in hand, but we can use these answers for other things, too. All right, so they are playing another threat. We'll see what it is. Fair enough. I mean, actually, that doesn't really matter. They can get back the tracker, but the 3/2 body is pretty much irrelevant against Gideon. We'll see if they return Flicker Wisp. Oh, they can return Flicker Wisp and then Flicker Eternal Witness and then bring back Tireless Tracker. I guess that's decent. Excuse me. But I'm still not too concerned here. We could use Solitude to take out their Eternal Witness, but I don't think that's necessary. So let's take out this Mirari's Wake. We get 3 mana. Good draw. Let's Library to start. Okay, I wanted to draw land there. Maybe that's actually better than Mirari's Wake, though. Yeah, I think it is, because then we can play Bribery as well. So let's go red, white, Wear Tear, fused, to destroy this and this. And then we could play Bribery. Yeah, let's play Bribery. Actually, yeah, let's play Bribery. We get to see their deck. Whoa, okay. So they have Upheaval. That's the card we need to worry about. Interesting deck. So Upheaval, Time Warp, Regrowth, a lot of creatures. They're just trying to, like, ramp into these naturally, it looks like. They're double Ulamog. Elspeth takes out this... Actually, no, both Ulamogs are indestructible. So they're basically just dead unless they can top deck Upheaval. But they don't have double blue at the moment. So I think we should be good to go against pretty much anything. Which one of these is better to take? Doesn't really matter. Either one should win if we get an attack trigger. Guess I'll take this one. Let me pass. Still holding up Solitude. They can hit us for 3 with a Flicker Wisp if they want to. That's fine. I guess I'll swing for 2. Bribery looks very good in this matchup. This should just be one of our best matchups, honestly. This seems quite good for us. Although I guess if the game is going really long, Hardcast Ulamog is a bit of a concern. Okay, so we need to save our counterspells for Upheaval. Don't really need to sideboard for this matchup, I think. Yep, we'll just run it back. Alright, we are on the draw with a good hand. We don't have red mana here, but that's okay. We can get White Source for Wall of Omens and then hopefully set up the turn 4 board sweeper. Opponent's also down to 5. Whether to play Island or Prismatic Vista on turn 1 is somewhat interesting, but I think it's better to play Island because Plains is a better than average draw. Oh, well, now that we drew our Plains. Okay, I'm just going to play Island and pass. Sylvan Library. That's pretty bad for us. Because we're not pressuring their life total, so they can just pay a bunch of life and draw a bunch of cards very quickly. Our hand is good, though. I think we should still be okay. And actually, we pressured their life total more than a lot of our hands do. Okay, they play it correctly by paying the full 8 life. No Tireless Tracker, please. Signet, that's fine. Bribery, good draw. So we'll ponder. Ooh, got some good ones here. I think we want all of these. Yeah, we want to draw Mana Drain and Banishing Light for next turn to have access to both. So we'll go Island. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Mana Drain, Banishing Light. Pass. And then depending what they do, we'll either play Gideon or hold up Counterspell. They go down to 4 life. Okay, so Archangel Avacyn will be lethal. They just pass. Okay, in this situation, we can just hold up Mana Drain and should be able to win from that. Mana Drain this turn, then we'll draw our land and play Archangel Avacyn next turn. I like the aggression of paying the first 8 life, maybe even paying another 4, but going down to 3 is not the right move, I think. Especially with them having a fetch line. They could have just shuffled away the bad cards if there were some they didn't want. And if they did want all of them, but they still had no play last turn, that's just weird. Tireless Tracker. Okay, I will Mana Drain this. I want to get some mana going on my turn. So, we'll draw our land. Now, we cannot play... there's a few different options here. What if they have Upheaval? That's the thing we need to be thinking about. We could take out their Gruul Signet, so they have to play their land drop before playing Bribery, but then we cannot play... we have 8 total mana, so we could play Bribery plus Banishing Light. I think that's the play. The mana doesn't work out so that we can play... If we could play Banishing Light plus Archangel Avacyn, that would be best case scenario, but we can't do that. So let's play land. Start with Bribery. Okay, they don't have Upheaval in their hand, at least. So... yeah, let's take Ulamog. Grab another white source. Put them back down to 5 lands. And pass turn. Now they need to enter this Ulamog immediately or they die. And even if they do enter it, we have a pretty good backup hand, and they're at 3. If they go land Upheaval, they do get their Gruul Signet back, but they have no lands in play. And their Upheaval is gone. Okay, they just concede. So pretty smooth start. We destroy this deck. Oh, I did not get to see their hand, but that's fine. I'll see you in round 2. Alright, we have our opponent for round 2. Currently undefeated and hoping to keep that going, but we've also been on the draw in every single game. Interesting hand. It would definitely keep. Good hand. But the land sequencing is a little bit tricky. Do we want to have Wall of Omens or Counterspell on turn 2? Baleful Strix. Okay. Well, that makes our decision a little easier. We'll just get our blue-white land into play. Strix is good against Teferi. It means we can't minus and keep our thing around. Okay, Liliana is a bit of a problem. We need to find an answer to it before it can ultimate, but we do have a lot of answers in our deck. Council's Judgment, there's one of them. Okay, let's play Island and pass, holding up Counterspell. Playing Wall of Omens doesn't really accomplish anything here. There's just no rush on getting that down. It would be one thing if we were missing land drops or if we needed to find an answer to Liliana ASAP. Coercive Portal. That is something I will certainly be counterspelling. And then I think we just go to Fairy Plus. That's sort of interesting. We could also play... no, I think it probably Teferi Plus is still the right line. Yeah, let's do that. They might have a Hero's Downfall type card, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. This pause could mean Force of Will, or it could mean they are just going to the bathroom or something. Okay, it does resolve. We will plus and pass. Library of Alexandria, really good against us, but it's a little bit late for that. Vampire X-Mage. So they can kill our Teferi if they want to. That's fine. I mean, I guess that's good for them, but it's still just a one-for-one trade. We're up on cards. Okay, now let's Council Judgment this thing. We did take a bit of a risk of them drawing Inquisition of Kozilek or something, but we essentially have two answers. And then so we can kill the Liliana and the next turn Bribery. And Bribery should hit something pretty good. Grave Titan, something along those lines. Maybe even Archon of Cruelty. Ponder, another good one, but we're still playing Bribery this turn. They might concede to this. It looks like it's just a black mid-range deck splashing blue for a few cards. They also might be pure blue-black with a bunch of double blue cards in their hand. Oh, they do concede. All right, so unclear if they're Reanimator or some sort of value deck or what. I think I'm going to preemptively bring in the Containment Priest just in case. We actually have two pieces of Graveyard Hate against aggro, or against Reanimator. I think I'd rather have the Containment Priest, though. Although, this card can become pretty huge. What do we not want? Everything in the main deck looks pretty good to me. Archangel Avacyn could be a little bit underwhelming. Maybe we cut that for Containment Priest. Or maybe Lion Slash. No, let's play Containment Priest. Yeah, we'll run like this. If we see more of their deck, we might want to bring in the Lion Slash too. But I think this is a pretty good way to run it for game 2. All right, good hand. Solitude should be good in the matchup. We have Library of Alexandria. Hopefully they don't also have Library. Okay, they don't. Suspend Ancestral Vision. Okay. Baleful Strix. All right, we'll draw a card. Okay, Wood of Foothills only has one more land to fetch, so we want to get that going soon. I do not want to Brazen Borrower this. So let's just play... Actually, let's just discard the Wood of Foothills. We can just play Island and pass. Although that is our second white source. I think we still discarded that. We'll find another white source. I'm not in a huge rush on that. All right, draw another card. Dak Faden. Good draw. Let's just steal this, or at least try to. If they counter the deck, it's fine. We have Library going, so trading 1 for 1 is very good for us. Miscalculation. Okay, sure. Now we don't have Gideon for next turn, but that's okay. We can use Ponder, Brazen Borrower, things like that. They play Coercive Portal. Okay, let's just Banishing like that in Library. We could also bounce it, but we'll save the Brazen Borrower for something else. So, land, draw a card. That's a good draw, too. Do that instead. I think we do. Yeah, let's Abrade this, main phase, and then play the Ponder. I wanted to play around Daze there. Ooh, don't want to draw those. So their Ancestral Vision does come off here, but we can win a card advantage battle if we have Library going. We just need to hope. I guess they could have Mind Twist. That's the thing we really don't want them to have. Because then we could not use Library anymore. But if we're just trading 1-for-1, Library eventually wins, always. Five men, what you got? Any permanent, we have good answers for. More card draw, we can outpace. But if they attack our hand, that's what we want to avoid. Next turn, we're probably... Oh, they play Grief. Alright, that's fine. If they take another card out of our hand, it's bad, though. Because right now we're going to get down to 6, but then on our draw step puts us back up to 7, so we can Library again. But if they have another Thoughtseize effect, that would be bad. They could have hardcast this Grief, and instead they exiled Ashen Rider. So there's two possibilities here. One is that they thought that this would be in their graveyard. They didn't realize it was getting exiled, so they were planning on reanimating it. The other is that they're going to use their mana on something else. They take our Solitude, okay? We can now have 6. They know we have nothing. Dauthi Voidwalker. Okay, bad sequencing. They could have exiled the Solitude and then Pack Rat. Okay, yeah, this is looking really good. Bribery. Do we want to do that? I think we should want to stay on the Library plan just in case they have a way to deal with our bribery thing. So, draw. Then let's go land. If we go land Gideon and make a dude, they can kill the Gideon. So, I think it might actually be better to just take out the Dauthi Voidwalker. I think this is good. The problem is this card is just like it's such a risk. If they have it and they make us discard our hand, they can just cast our Consecrated Sphinx or something like that, and we don't want to deal with that. Okay, making rats is totally fine. We have Brazen Borrower to bounce one of them. We can Bribery. They're making another rat. Okay, so they're out of cards in hand. Archon of Cruelty. That's a bummer that we can't steal that. We're taking 4 here. Faithless Looting. Okay, so a few options. We could play Bribery and Library. That does put us at some risk, though. They're going to hit us for 9. But no, it seems like we should be fine if we Bribery. So let's draw a card first in case we find a Board Sweeper. Mana not very good. So we'll Bribery them. And as long as they have basically anything, we are going to survive. Okay, let's take their Consecrated Sphinx here. If they draw one of their reanimation spells, we do die. And they actually have a lot. Well, it would be fine if they drew Exhume. But if they top deck Necromancy, Reanimate, Animate Dead, or Recurring Nightmare, we're probably dead. But against anything else, we're fine. And then this is the key turn. If they don't hit it this turn, we get to draw like a million cards. We should be good to go. Okay, we found our Board Sweeper. We found our Counterspell. We'll kill the real Pack Rat. Okay, they just drew land. So they're putting us down to 2. But then we should be able to win pretty easily from this position. So we go land, hit for 4, then sweep your board. And we'll pass. And the counterspell available, we have 7 cards, library's going, there's no way we lose. All right, sweet. We are really cruising. Yet to drop a game, and we're into the finals. I will see you there. All right, we have our opponent for the finals. We've been on the draw 4 times and won all of them. Now we're on the play, so that's a bad sign. We also have to mulligan. So, rough start. Oh, man. Okay, so this hand has a plan, and that is to time walk ourselves on turn 2. We put a card on the bottom down to 6. Oh no, we'd have to skip 2 turns. Because we play our library, go down to 5 cards in hand. Then pass on turn 2, pass on turn 3. Wait. Go down to 5. Turn 2, we drop to 6. Turn 3, no. I think this hand has a chance to win. We're going to skip our second land drop, and then on turn 3, we're going to library, and then hit our land drop, and hope to go from there. We have some cards that are good when we're behind. We have bribery, which is just broken. I think we can put back Wall of Omens here. This hand would be so much better if we didn't have to put this Wall of Omens back. I don't even care about the Wall of Omens. I just want to have the cards in hand. But let's do this. So if those were 7 and it was that bad, that'd be one thing. But going down to 5 on the play is just pretty bad. If they're playing a hyper-aggressive deck and we're skipping our second turn, we're going to lose. But if they're playing something grindy, Library of Alexandria can win on its own. So I think I'm going to take that risk. Interesting decision, though. I think this is correct. Also, we don't have stuff like Ancestral Recall or Soul Ring. Like, if we had really broken cards, like, Library is our broken card. So if we had more broken cards that could catch us up if we were on a mulligan, that would be one thing, but we can't. Okay, Winter Orb, that's fine. I mean, that's actually pretty annoying, but we have Brazen Borrower. Okay, really want to hit a land here. Brutal. That's really frustrating. Okay, so we'll pass. Discard Faithless Looting. Emery. Okay, that's pretty good. They hit. Yeah, I mean, we're going to lose this game, I think. Land, come on. All right. Pass. Discard. Mana Tithe. They attack for 1. All right. We absolutely... I mean, we just are, like, going to concede if we don't draw land in these 2 hits. Okay, there's an island. That's good. So we can go... Land. Do we want to bounce something here? Actually, well, oh yeah, this was a misplay. We probably wanted to... Yeah, definitely misplay. All right, we're going to Solitude to take out this. But, given that, we should have used Library first. Because now we can't use Library this turn. That's actually a pretty big misplay. Signet, okay. So if we draw Red Source, we'll steal that. Otherwise, we're just going to Library. Nice. Okay, I think we're actually in pretty good shape now. We have the mana advantage. Our hand is pretty good. Okay, they just pass. Let's untap an island. Play island. I guess we will loot. I actually like my hand. Okay, discard Archangel Avacyn for sure. And then Board Sweeper. And we'll pass. Holding up Counterspell. We could play a 3-1 end of turn, but I think I'd rather set a Bribery to Fairy. Okay, we do want to counter this. Unfortunately, we have to tap both of our islands, but that's fine. Okay, let's loot again. Again, my hand is pretty good, but I just want to get Dack Fayden's loyalty up. Discard this, and I don't think we need another red source, honestly. So I'll just discard the Steam Vents to save some life. And then if we find another land, we can play Bribery next turn, which should win against Winter Orb. This Winter Orb is really helping us. Okay, let's loot. And if we don't find land, then we can just use Teferi. Okay, no land. What do we want to discard? Probably Wear Tear plus Brazen Borrower. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then we'll pass with Mana Drain available, and then next turn we can Bribery, and that should seal the deal. Weird game one. Playing against blue-white artifacts. I guess if they pass with all their mana available, we might just want to wait. They do pass. Okay, let's play Teferi. That resolves. Okay. Well, plus. I'm not even going to plus the DAC here. My hand's good. I'm not interested in milling myself. And DAC is ready to steal 2 artifacts in a row. So they can't really play any signets or anything like that. Urza. Okay. We'll Mana Drain this and then play Bribery and win. Okay, they just concede. So blue-white artifacts, weird start. We mulled to 5 and then, or we mulled to 6, but then skipped our second land drop. But the Winter Orb is really what won us the game. They had way more cards in hand than us. I guess Dak Faden won us the game, but their Winter Orb helped us more than it helped them, I think. So they have a bunch of artifacts and enchantments. We don't really have any more sideboard hate, but we have a lot of main deck hate, so this should be a good matchup. 2 board sweepers is probably unnecessary. Does it matter which one we have? Probably not. What else do we want, though? We could bring in Jin-Gitaxias. It's not good against creatures, though. Good against artifacts. Kitchen thinks it okay. We could bring in another land. I guess Lion Sash is good against Emry. Yeah, actually, I think I'll bring in the Lion Sash over Board Sweeper. And actually, this is better with Solitude, too. I forgot about that. That's pretty relevant here. Yeah, let's run like this. We could also bring in the land, but on the draw, I don't think that's necessary. On the play, I would do that. Looking for win number 6 for the clean sweep and the trophy. And we have a pretty good hand. It's a little bit land heavy, of course. We don't really have ways to interact with the board for a while, but we have good mana. We have library. We have preordained, so we can find our powerful spells. If they have a broken Soul Ring draw, we'll be way too slow, but I like this hand. Lotus Bloom, okay. Drawing another land there is not what we were looking for. I would love to find a way to kill this Lotus Bloom before they get to use it. It'll come off on turn 4. Okay. Ouch. Okay. Let's find something. Brutal. So grab Island, Preordain. Then we're going to be discarding hand size. There's an Abrade. Okay, I think Abrade is good. Do we want Gideon as well? Honestly, no. I think I care more about interaction here. Yeah, I just want to find interaction. So we'll pass, go to discard and pitch basic Island. Or basic Plains, I guess. Yeah, Plains is fine. So we can either braid the Lotus Bloom or the Izzet Signet. Counterspell. If we had a blue-red land, we could hold up Counterspell or Braid, but now we need to decide. I think I'm just going to kill this Signet here. No, actually, that's just. Oh, man. I want to hold up Counterspell and then play a Braid end turn if they don't do anything. This is a really interesting decision. We could hold up Counterspell and just not play the Braid this turn. That's probably the safest line. Yeah, let's just do that. So they have a lot of mana, but we have Counterspell available. If they have like a big play plus Counterspell backup, that would be bad. And then next turn we can go Braid plus Counterspell if they don't make a move this turn. Looks like they are making a move. They're playing Jeskai as well. 1, 2. Oh, they get it tapped. That's sort of weird. Tezzeret. Okay, that's definitely something we want to counter. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Library first. That would be bad if we did not do this. Now Counterspell. That worked. Now we can go land, draw a card, Abrade the Lotus Bloom. We could also kill the Signet and then bounce the Brazen Borrower the Lotus Bloom to stall it, but I would rather just take them off of as much mana as possible. Now they only have 5 mana instead of 7, which is a pretty big difference. And then next turn we can play Bribery or Gideon. Let's just play Bribery here, I think. Yeah, that seems good. So land, Bribery. We don't know that this is going to hit something huge, but it's pretty likely to get something decent. I mean, I guess we can get Urza if nothing else. Okay, not the best hit. Do we want to take... Oh, actually, is Wurmcoil versus Urza? Or versus Wurmcoil, Urza, or Muldrifter. They have Elspeth. Elspeth conquers death. Jite, Upheaval. I think I like just getting the Muldrifter here. Actually, no. We want to have some closing speed. We'll get the Wurmcoil. If they draw up to Fairy, that will be bad. But against everything else, this is fine. If we didn't have Library going, I would take the Muldrifter. But with the Library going, I'm not too worried about card draw. I'd rather play to the board and make them have answers. Signet, okay. Sower of Temptation. That's fine. So let's draw. And then play land, go. And hold up Archangel Avacyn. They only have 1 card. At this point, Upheaval is really the only card I'm afraid of. Jite. Alright, that's fine. We can kill that. I think we get this... I'm actually not... I think we killed the Sower, we get the Wurmcoil back, but I'm not positive. So we cast this. Block the Sower. They actually can kill our Archangel Avacyn here. Oh, do they have Sword Splash here? Alright, fair enough. We take 8. Then we can play Gideon, though, and kill the Brazen Borrower. Or the Sower of Temptation. Good draw. So let's hold up Mana Drain and go off the Library plan. Yeah. So Sunbaked Canyon, Gideon. Right? And then we pass with Brazen Borrower and Mana Drain available. And this is a pretty unlosable position. We have a very fast clock. Yeah, I think we got this. Unless they top deck, again, the Upheaval. But no, we had the Mana Drain, we're fine. So let's end a turn, Petty Theft this. Land, animate and attack. And I'm honestly going to blow up one of their artifacts just to limit their mana here. This makes Mana Tithe more alive, and it takes them off of 2 mana because of the Signet, or because of the Tolarian Academy. I'm not going to counter the GT on the way back down. I'm going to try not to counter anything if possible. Oh, well, that's something we have to counter. And then we can crack these Sunbake. Oh, they concede. All right, really smooth league. We won all 6 matches. Yeah, or all 6 games. Let's pull up the deck list. All right, this was our Jeskai control deck, and it was sweet. Feels good to get a smooth trophy like that, because I haven't played a league in almost 2 weeks. But I still got it. The deck was great. I think the key for this deck was actually the consistency. Ponder, Preordained, Faithless Looting gave us great cantrips. We had tons of mana fixing, so we were able to find the right answers for the right times. We had 2 board sweepers, so we had ways to deal with that. Lots of ways to deal with Planeswalkers, with Elspeth Conqueror's Death, Banishing Light, Council's Judgment. A couple good Planeswalkers to close out the game. Bribery and Consecrated Sphinx were both very good, as always. We were light on counter magic, and we got a little bit lucky. I feel like we drew them more often than we should have, which is really good. I mean, counter magic is super important for these sorts of decks. But just a really sweet league all around. I love these sorts of multicolor grindy control decks. You have lots of interaction, lots of interesting decisions to make. Library of Alexandria is always a good one. Just a great league all around. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.